It's green now. That's the new season, green. Look, and it's behind me, sort of. Part of it's behind me. You'll see more in a moment. Welcome to the Warriors Den. There's a lot of you. We tried something new this week, and I think it might have worked. We put an in-game message notification telling you to come check out the show because we have really cool stuff to share, and it looks like a lot of you have shown up, which is exciting and awesome. And it's an exciting and awesome show. Today and next week are our two kind of hypey Warriors Dens where we talk about Season 4, which is coming very, very soon. Before we get into that, I have just a few little news things, and I know you want the goods. But on the show today, you're going to learn the name and the date. The name's right there, Order and Havoc. Congrats to Havoc, the YouTuber. We'll also give you the date. Then we'll show a first look trailer with our friends Luke, Ramon, and Damien. I think those are the only three guys in it. They'll also be on the show today. And that will give you an overview of everything coming in the season, the high notes. Then we'll sit down with BioJade, to give us a Faction War update, because there's actually a lot of changes coming to Faction War this season that I think you'll be into. Even if you claim to be one of those people who's like, I don't care about the Faction War, you're going to care, because I told you so. We're going to go into the patch notes, which is going to be long because I have it here. I think it's like 13 pages or so of juicy deets. We'll also have Mr. Luc Duchesne updating us on the Season 4 tournament, which actually the qualifiers wrapped up this past weekend. So there's a lot to come. But first, some news. And this is exciting, actually. Our next free weekend is coming next week. November 9th through the 12th will be our next free weekend, all platforms. And this time around, we're trying something different, which hopefully should catch your attention because it benefits you. Yes, you, the players who already own and like For Honor. We're calling it the Warrior Training Program. So what we found in the last free weekend, actually, was that people who played with friends, who played in groups with others versus just going solo, had a much better time, which makes sense psychologically. So we're trying to encourage that this time around. So we want you, the people who are already playing For Honor, to make an effort, tell a friend, tell multiple friends, play with them. So basically, the deal is if you play 5 matches, only 5 matches, we're very generous. If you play 5 matches in a group with a newcomer or newcomers, you, at the start of the next season, will get 5,000 steel. The newcomer will also get 5,000 steel, and in theory have a much better experience because you can kind of tell them how the game works, figure out all the details. I'm getting notes from Maddie, our director, and in fact, you don't have to play all 5 games with the same new person. So you could do 5 different games, 5 different new people, and still get that $5 grand. This is a big deal, because you and I know Mr. Damien. He's the Monopoly man. Damien Keegan is tight with his purse strings, and he opened him up for this. So I'm really excited. I hope that you are too, because we want new players to come to the game. Obviously, it helps all of us. If you're really good at the game, it gives you fodder. You can kill more people. But, you know, it buoys all the modes. You can matchmake quicker, all of that. So we will be organizing threads on the subreddit and the forums to help people connect. Actually, I think the mods on r/For Honor will probably be directing people to the For Honor Discord to find matches, because that's something they already do. So hope you're excited about that. $5 grand is pretty nice, pretty generous for something you're probably already doing. So let's get into it. Let's get a lot of people psyched to play For Honor. So that's the 9th to the 12th, all platforms. Oh, even if you're a group of all noobs, if you're 4 people, you play 5 matches, all brand new to the game, just playing the free weekend, you'll also get the 5,000 if you end up getting the game and start next season. So that's cool. Other update. So the discount that we told you about on the masks, the mask outfits, discount has ended. They were 15,000 steel during the Halloween event. They're now 20,000. The Halloween event is actually over as well as of today, sadly. The Feast of the Otherworld has ended. Everybody's full. I hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly did. I loved seeing all the content you were making. People seem to really like the Endless March, killing the skeletons. So get hype. I hope we can do it again next year. Speaking of Halloween content, There are still bundles, which we are making available until the 6th to give you just a few more days. If you didn't loot everything you wanted to loot, if you didn't get a chance to get the emote, which is now gone. You can't buy the emote standalone, the werewolf. You can get a bundle, and as we've seen, it's a dynamic price. So depending on what you've looted, depending on what you already own, the price lowers and lowers and lowers. Someone on the Reddit actually broke down the exact numbers it costs based on what you own, which is pretty cool. So check that out now. And thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who gave feedback on the bundle pricing stuff as it pertains to the masks and all that. If you're still having issues, please reach out to support. They can help you out. Last news item of the week. We have content of the week. Even though it's the off season, we do have new content that's out today. It is not executions. I know all of you want executions. What I can tell you is those are coming very soon. But what it is this week is ornaments. And they're 5,000 steel each. So we're going to check out a video of all the new ornaments. And then we're going to be back with Luke to update us on the Season 4 tournament. Then we'll get into all the Season 4 stuff that you are here to see. So let's jump in.
Hello all, it's Luke from the 400 team here to report on our last week of qualifier in preparation for the Season 4 reveal event taking place on Saturday, November 11th in Montreal. In Europe, the ultimate digital athletes were coming in week 3 with a strong lead in first place. Led by team captain Clutchmeister, they quickly secured their spot as their European representative for the final.
GG, that's guaranteed now.
Woo, we're guaranteed, baby.
Free Vinks, who finished seconds overall in Europe, were their first victims, losing all 3 games. But Forgunner took one of the 3 games against UDA.
That's bad.
Nice.
Hey, we won a game!
Clutchmeister took the title of the most takedown in single game with 21, a title held by Cypher PK during week 1 and week 2.
I want to see that.
How do you feel about that, ladies and gents? How do you feel about that 21-1, baby, with Kensei?
Again this week, the only loss of Team UDA is during a game where Legion had his lowest number of takedowns.
Damn, Raptor, you really did trigger me in that game, dude.
So they better watch out for the final. In North America, Team NRG and their captain Ice Guys were also in a very good position to secure their place, which they did in the first matchups against Team Lit.
Hey, all that kill credit, let's go. GG.
Yeah, that's rigged.
Team Lit on their end are finishing second with pure players in third position. I looked at all the stats in the games and I was trying to identify which individual performance we should highlight on today's recap. Is it the game during which Ice Guy got 17 takedowns? Or the game where Ice Guy, Scorbread, and Kiyu got a total of 0 death? What about the 2 games against pure players during which Budrat had a total of 0 death? The least we can say is that Team NRG is ready for the big fight coming on November 11th. So here we are with our 2 finalists, Team UDA from Europe, Team NRG from North America. When you look at the stats from the 2 teams, Team NRG won their games 2 minutes faster in average than Team UDA. Will that give them an advantage for the final? Will Team NRG manage to control Legion and get the win? Where will Team UDA focus? On Scorebrand or Kiyu, who managed to have an excellent kill and death ratio throughout the qualifiers? All those questions and more will be answered on Saturday, November 11th during the Season 4 reveal event taking place in Montreal. Have a good week, Warriors.
We're back. Thank you, Luke. Luke is, I think he's in the office, maybe.
Is he?
Oh, it's his birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Luke.
birthday.
I think he's not in the office.
That's why
because of
he's
that.
not in the office.
Everyone give a happy birthday shout out to Luke. It's L Duchesne on Twitter. He'd love to see your birthday shout outs. He loves it when people talk to him on Twitter.
It's very bright in here.
It is a lot brighter than it was during Halloween. I liked Halloween better. Roman and Damien are here. First off, shout out to those guys in the tournament. It was really exciting to see all that. And I'm excited for next week. We're doing our finals next week, Saturday the 11th, here in Montreal. Are you guys going to be there? You're going to be on a plane.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there?
I'd like to.
Damien doesn't like
Am
people,
I
so he won't be
invited?
there. No, you're not invited.
Too bad.
No, you should come. It'll be awesome to see them in person. We'll probably bring them to the studio, hang out a little bit. But I'm really excited about that. So yes, okay, enough about all of that. I know that everyone here is ready to see new season stuff. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. Whenever
This new season will change things up. Now each faction will have 6 heroes, a new game mode, so the stakes are just bigger and bigger. In Hodor and Havoc, we are introducing 2 new heroes, the Aramucha and the Shaman. The uniqueness of the Shaman, the feral aspect, the first time I saw the Shaman in action, it was like, okay, it's so different.
I really like the way she fights, the way she moves on the battlefield, the way you really feel how much an animal she is. For the Aramusha, the inspiration is really the old Japanese movie where we wanted to have that runner type of character.
So those 2 new heroes will be available on November 14th for the season pass owners and on November 21st for all the players. Tribute will bring diversity in the 4v4 game mode.
It gives you a complete new view of the maps that you're used to play in skirmish.
It requires a bigger team communication than the other game modes that we have.
One of the huge strengths of that mod is how things can change from one second to the other.
The match can turn like this.
So on past season, we introduced dual tournaments where you could be ranked only by yourself. So we'll be introducing during the season 4 Dominion ranked activity What is interesting in Dominion is how good you are in the combat, but also how good you are in the team. So Market Town is the latest entry in the Samurai maps.
One thing that makes that map really unique is the usage of zipline that allow you to quickly go from one place to the map to another.
And you can also, in the way, kill somebody that is below you, so it's a really, really cool ingredient. Gauntlet is our new Viking map. It's a Dominion map, and it's the first time we do a Viking map that big.
I like the entrance of that map with the two massive skull statues. It's really a cool map to play.
People love executions, so now you will be able to equip 4 executions at once. So this way you can select a small execution if you have somebody near you, or a very long one to gain more health. And it's also a pride feature, of course. One of the things we wanted to do also with Faction War is to help players make the right decision. So we're highlighting you the 3 most interesting territories you should look to put your war assets on. We introduced for the first time a few months ago the double XP weekends with the XP Fest. It's something we want to expand, so we want to make more game mode variations and more events like we did for Halloween, for example.
Coming in now, you have a much better experience that you could have 9 months ago when we launched the game. So now is a very good time to come in and fight. I want to fight you on the battlefield.
That's a cool video.
There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I hope people are excited. That's sort of your overview. And over the next 2 weeks, you'll get more details. As I said, today we're going to go in detail on the Faction War stuff in there. We're going to go in detail on the patch notes. Next week, if you've been around a while, this is usually how we do it. Next week, we're going to sit down with our art and design teams to go into the new maps, but also the new heroes. In detail there.
Maybe some of the menus, multiple executions.
New gear. But yes, I hope you're really excited about that. So let's kind of recap it in case people were filtering in and out during that video, and we can give more details where we like.
Yeah.
First of all, Order and Havoc. Get used to that. Order and Havoc. It's
Can you do it again, please?
Order and Havoc. Begins November 14th. And if you have been around, you're familiar. If not, maybe not. But for that first week, people with a season pass have access to those 2 new heroes, the Shaman and the Aramusha. And then if you don't have the season pass, you have access 1 week later on the 21st. You can get them for 15,000 steel. Sorry.
And then
Spending too much time with French people.
Yes, I get distracted when people start typing on the screen up there. Yes, the 2 maps are Market Town, which I don't know if you noticed, it's got zip lines.
Oh yeah.
The zip lines are pretty sweet, and you, as you said in the video,
really
you can launch off
Even
them
more
and
in
kill people.
Tribute.
Yes, and Gauntlet is the other one. I just wanted to make the difference here so it was clear that Gauntlet is a Dominion map,
Yes.
as well as Brawl and Duel.
And elimination.
And elimination and skirmish.
And Market Town is Tribute. Market Town is not a Dominion map.
Tribute, skirmish.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything but the
Yes, exactly. I was trying to put it in the positive side, not the what it isn't. But yes. But that one is super awesome for Tribute, because that's the one I played the most on for Tribute, and it's really great.
Market Town is great.
And speaking of Tribute, I thought maybe you'd want to share some of
Let's
the details.
start with the Tribute stuff. Okay, why not? Seeing that
We
from
did
you.
a public test of Tribute back in September, I believe. A number of you participated and gave us a ton of feedback. So I thought we would share some of the changes that you'll see in the final version of, or the live version of Tribute. Nothing's final in this game because we're here forever. But the live version of Tribute. So what are some of the changes?
Maybe we have a video first to show
do
what
actually.
Tribute is to players.
Good memory.
Because some people played.
Some people played, some didn't. So
Yes.
let's check out the new mode for Season 4 Tribute.
Defend your shrines. No superstes. The other team have 2 offerings. Time up. You win. Overtime. Defend your shrines. The enemy rally. Imminent enemy rally.
Cool.
That's a pretty extensive recap.
tutorial. Yeah, it's more of a tutorial that you'll see in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, that we will push into the game. I don't know when, but soon.
Cool. So what are some of the changes to
So
the
yeah,
mode?
so first, before going to the changes, so the maps where tributes will be playable are Tower Rune, Canyon, Shipyard, Cathedral, Cinder Mill, Forest, Viking Village, and Market Town.
Nice.
So most of the maps where you play skirmish and elimination. So some of the changes we've done since the public test, some pretty cool changes. First one is now when somebody interacts with a shrine, and if the timer reaches 0, the game doesn't end, the match doesn't end like the public test. We wait for the end of that interaction. So either the player succeeds at stealing it, for example, and then the timer goes back to the 2 minutes or whatever phase you are in,
Cool.
or the player fails because it gets interrupted or something like that, and then the match ends. So that's a pretty big change. So you can really, like at the last second of the match, save the match,
Right.
or change the outcome.
Cool.
This effect can be triggered with a steal and or a secure, and any interaction with a shrine works.
Cool.
On the other changes, we've tweaked the renown gain based on player feedback, so that you unlock your forfeit a bit later on than during public test.
Yeah, people were finding they were getting all their feats almost right away. Not right away, but quite quickly.
The damage boost from the Vindicator's Blessing does not affect feats anymore and has been slightly reduced as well. The shield from the Guardian Blessing now has a more accurate regen rule, so it will fill back up to 25 HP 9 seconds after the last attack you receive. And this timer is reset every time the character is attacked. So the shield can still regen while you're in a fight. The respawn rule, so that's one of the main feedback we got, is that you can respawn in front of another player, and it felt weird. So the respawn rules have been improved a lot to reduce those situations. And we did several other fixes regarding bot replacement, so that they have the correct blessing visuals, etc.
Cool.
What's going on my right? Another thing we said during public test, but I want to remind, is that sometimes the drop conditions when were not all equal depending on heroes. So now everything is consistent. Moves and feats that slave other players now make the offering drop, which wasn't the case before. And being in revenge give you the same immunity super armor gives you pertaining offering drop conditions.
Cool.
Which is another cool thing. So that's for the tribute.
Roman, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Huh?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you right now?
I'm fucking happy.
chat
No,
is
actually, I'm
very
really, 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 really bad. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna smile.
Don't tell Roman to smile.
It's a really sad day.
Why are you sad?
Because it's Luke's birthday.
Because he's 1 year older?
Yeah, poor Luke.
Oh, man.
We liked him before.
Roman, I think people have started formulating a theory that you don't like me.
No.
Last week on the show, the camera doesn't lie. The camera caught you doing a fake smile at me. So we're gonna hash that out on a future Warriors Den. We'll just have a therapy session here. Maybe Damien can be the moderator. It'll be great.
Can I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you noticed why I don't like you anymore? You know why? It's because I used to be sitting by you.
It's true.
And now you chose Damien.
That's actually
And
Max's
so I feel
fault.
kind of rejected and pushed to the side.
It's true,
Isn't it
actually. Yeah, I blame that on Max. Max is the one who organizes who sits where. So.
Okay, switch side.
We'll switch when we come back, so then
Perfect.
everybody's confused.
Patch notes, we'll have you right here, and we'll be friends again. Did you want to talk a bit? I skimmed right past the heroes. Want to talk about the heroes?
And yes, also you
that's also
cut me.
why.
You see, that's why I can't be mad at you.
No, you're more than welcome to do that.
High
Yes.
level, because we'll go into the details
Yes,
of the patch
we're
note
not-
afterwards,
Yeah.
right?
So
Okay.
the two new heroes are the Shaman and the Aramusha. So they are both, first to start, they are both gender locked. So the Shaman is only a woman, the Aramusha is male only. Sorry guys. But in terms of customization, so I was seeing people on the chat saying, she's ugly, etc. Okay, that's what you think. But also, I think she's really badass, by the way. But in terms of customization for both of them, it's the same level of depth that we have on the other character. So even if you see their face, there's actually many different face, different hairstyle, different art for the Aramusha, etc. They are really like the ones that you see behind us, the poster boy version of
All
it,
the default ones.
are really the default ones.
Well, especially as they saw last season with the Highlander,
exactly.
where he was one of our more exposed faces, and
Yeah.
the different customizations basically look like a different person.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same, and it's the same for both actually.
So
Because-
if your criteria for playing this game is that the character is your type that you'd like to date, A, I'm sorry for you. B, maybe there's a customization that'll work for you that'll make you more attracted to your character.
But maybe your choice should be more, instead of the character that I would like to date, it's the one that you're afraid to fight because
Yeah.
she's gonna kick your ass.
Which, by the way, the Shaman is fucking awesome.
So yes, going to the Shaman,
yeah.
actually, so her default playstyle, she's an assassin, she can't all her stance, etc. She's all about quick chains and combos. But a little bit like the Peacekeeper, she can apply bid on a target by cancelling or chaining light attack after a heavy attack. But then, when a target is bleeding, she has a bloodlust effect. And now, one of her moves is change, and she can actually rush on the guy and basically hit her face. And that move deals a lot of damage. So a lot of the gameplay of the Shaman, it's how to put pressure on your opponent in order to be able to apply bleed, in order to be able to have a setup where you can actually land that really powerful finisher. So she's really interesting to play with. I really like the character, and on top of that, I really think that her attitude, her emotions are really, really cool.
Yeah.
And she has some crazy execution and some really cool emotes. So you'll see that next week. Can't wait for you guys to see that. On the other end, we have the Aramusha, the other part of the name. And the Aramusha, we really wanted to hit that runner type of archetype. That's the peaceful, but still fucking badass samurai aspect.
The double blades is something people have wanted
The
since
double-bladed katana, the guy with the daisho, the samurai art, etc. And his play style, he has many tricks in it. But one of his key strengths is that he has an infinite chain with his two blades, and with a lot of mix-up in it. So basically, he has that chain. And if you attack twice in the same direction, that gives you a more powerful finisher. But that finisher, you can cancel it or mix it up into another move or into a kick, etc. So his core play style is really based around that infinite chain and how you can bait your opponent into it. And then he has another move that, because he's actually really good at counter-attacking, he has some pretty decent dodge, etc. And he has a defensive stance. So unlike shield characters, he can't hold it forever. It's time-based defense, so when you go down on the right stick, or it goes full defense. But based on the outcome of your full defense, you get some pretty nasty moves. So he's really good. And he has also some really badass execution, and one of my favorite emotes in the game. So can't wait for you guys to check him out.
I don't know if you're talking about the same emote.
So the Aramusha is an hybrid, is a mix between a Vanguard and a tank.
Very cool. So yes, come back next week for a lot more on them. Cool. Damien, you mentioned in that video something very interesting, Dominion ranked.
Yes. So we will have a new playlist with Dominion playable in rank mode. So you will have a separate rank for Dominion, so it's a separate one from Duel. You won't play through the tournament system for Dominion. So it's you're just chaining matches, basically. And it's a playlist we'll introduce a bit later on during the season. We want to focus on tribute first, celebrate tribute, celebrate the new mode, have everybody enjoying that mode. And then a few weeks after launch, introducing a Dominion Ranked, where you will, fight for your new ranking in Dominion.
Cool. And I saw there was a lot of excitement about the being able to equip 4 executions.
Yeah.
That's Bio's team, right, Bio? Yes?
What?
Was it your team that made that happen?
Yes.
She wasn't listening, but she said yes anyway.
I was reading the chat. It's the engagement team.
Yes, so thank them.
The engagement team.
They're also one of the more
We're very
engaged teams on our team that they'll send me stuff from Reddit before I've seen it. So that's just one of the benefits of our developers being actually, because that's a huge community request. So it's not something I had to bring to them. They already knew, and they made it happen, which is awesome. Yes, and B will be here in just a couple minutes to show us all about the new Faction War update. And then you mentioned there might be some more in-game events, like the Halloween one.
We liked the Halloween event.
Yeah.
It was really cool. We had a super positive feedback. So I think it's something we'll do again.
Cool. And you may have noticed there was no update in there about the dedicated servers, but we're still very much working on that, and you will definitely get an update this season with some cool stuff for you to find out.
Some big news soon.
Yes. But just to be upfront about that, we're definitely not moving away from the dedicated servers thing, but we'll give you updates when we have something substantial to share with you. So
yes.
Cool. I think now we should bring up Bio and check out the Faction War. So these guys are going to take a break. We'll be back for patch notes, but now let's check out the new Faction War.
Wide.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Our transitions are longer now, so you all have more time to shuffle on.
Yeah, I can launch and fix my skirt.
Cool. So, hey, I told I told you that our viewers love PowerPoints, so you made a PowerPoint.
I made a PowerPoint, yay!
It's actually on me. We wanted to show the stuff in the build, and we didn't get it together in time. Next week, we'll definitely have a full live build of the game up for you to see a lot of that stuff. But PowerPoint for this week, so that's on me. But
You're gonna have to hear my voice and
that's
look
fine.
at the PowerPoint.
It's fine. It's a
few
great
minutes.
PowerPoint. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Sure. Let's do this.
When we cut over to the, thank you.
Cool. So this is all the changes we're going through for the 4th season of For Honor for the Faction War. And we're going to 3 axes of changes. So we changed some things about the readability of the Faction War, being a UI refactor that I'm going to show you, the way that we display the war assets, and new thing that is called the hotspots. We made some world building features now. We changed the terminology, and also we gave names to territories. I'm going to tell you which one is my favorite later. And we also updated the rules, the actual rules of how you make points and you can win the faction war.
Cool.
So let's start with the readability. So what we wanted to do is give more clarity so that rules are clearer. We had so many questions before about what's going on with the different territories, and also give more power in the hands of players so that they can understand where to deploy the war assets and how. So this is how it looks for the new season whenever you're going to go and select a front. This is a working build. That's why the fronts name are not there. And you can see that it's a weird season. I think I was in season 9 there or something like that. It's all simulated. So the first thing that we changed is change the little cross swords that were hard to understand with actual arrows that tells you, okay, you're going to win that territory. And everything that you see is now faction-based. So I'm a Viking, of course, everybody knows that. So everything is actually related to the Viking faction. So it's clearer for me to know what to do.
Oh, cool.
When you go in the war map, we now have a new visual that is much, much clearer and easy to see. You can still see the volcano, guys. Don't worry. We didn't make it so that you can see it. So we changed the visual so it's clearer to see. And you can actually see again the little arrows that tells you what territory you're going to win or lose. And the biggest change is that we transformed the percentages into actual amount of war assets that are on that territory.
Cool.
Of course, that's a working build. There is not many war assets.
There will be more than 44.
It's the games that the tester did and the war assets they deploy on that build. But you will see the actual numbers. So now you can easily see, okay, that territory doesn't have a lot of war assets on it. I'm going to concentrate there. Or there's too much, so let's take another one. Because percentages were great, but they would never tell you if that 2% is made out of 1,000 war assets or 10 million.
Right.
We also gave you some information about what is going on right now for you and for your faction. So again, everything is faction-based, so you see all the information related to the Viking. Unless you go into detail, and then you can also see how many war assets have been deployed for all the factions that are fighting on that territory, all the details. So we hide nothing. You see all the information about what's going on all the territories, so you can strategize more and have better strategy, like you see here. Sorry. That little thing that you see blinking now is a concept that we call hotspots. So these are the closest territories, actually. So when you see something blinking and you don't know or don't care about where to deploy war assets, just go on the blinky thingy, and it's going to tell you where is the closest.
It draws your eye in. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can also see the amount of war assets you deployed yourself on that territory, so you can keep tab of your progress and your effort. So now for the world building, we wanted to give a more concrete setting for the faction war. It was very abstract. And also, we got very inspired by your love of the volcano. So we wanted to make it a bit more inspiring and exciting. So here's what we did. First of all, we changed the terms of the faction war. So the tactical view is now the war map. The territory update and turns are both battles and battle preparation. So basically, you prepare for the battle, and when the turn, or the turn is over, then it's a battle.
So the change of turns is really when the battle happens.
Exactly. And the rounds on our campaigns, the war assets are troops. So you see, we went to with a very military vocabulary. So now when you express your stories and you tell what's happened in the faction war, it's a bit more concrete. But one of my favorite changes is to the territory themselves. We named them.
Yeah.
So all of the territory has a name. I will let people discover the different names, but I can say that my favorite one is named Goatwood.
Goatwood.
Yeah, I like goats, so it's great. And we also added a thing that some of the player knew, but many didn't, is that each territory actually has map associated to it. So when you play on the front and there are maps on the different territories, these are the maps you can play on. So now we added the icons of the map you can play on that territory. You can obviously recognize those icons and see what map is this is in the loading screen. You can easily do the referential. But this is a mechanic that many people didn't know about.
That's true.
Because those maps are actually located in the world. So lastly, we did some rule updates. So we wanted to make it, to keep it fair, but make it a bit more engaging for the community. So what we've done is first we changed the battle duration. The old term was term to 11 hours. The reason is because whenever you would come back to For Honor the next day, if you play every day like a dedicated player, everything would have changed and you don't recognize the state of the war that much. So we wanted to make the turns longer, and it's also going to tie in with what I'm going to say afterward. But we made it 11 hours so the time zones will shift. We observed that some time zones are more played in a faction than the other, so this will even that out. And the last improvement, which is probably the biggest one, is the troops carryover. So after a battle, aka a turn, 50% of the winner's advantage remain on the territory. So that means, in that circumstances, after the battle or the turn, there will remain war assets for the Vikings on the territory. It carries and stacks every battle, and so that means that each battle, so each turn of the round, the campaign, matters. It will grow. So your effort in a specific round, a specific battle, will carry over through the whole campaign. So make sure about how you make your decisions to avoid enemy players to take a stronghold and just stay there and have too many war assets. Or if it happens, you can always isolate the territory so they will lose their war assets.
That's awesome.
So this is a big, big change. And as a warning, we snuck that into the last test server under the hood to gather some data. But we may have to tweak it during the season. We hope we won't need to tweak the 50%, but it's possible. So that's the main change of the faction war. It's a big deal for the rules. So this will all happen at the start of the season, and I hope people will enjoy the changes we've made.
Yes, that's so many things. Thank you so much. Speaking of data and yes, thank you, Maddie. Data. The new battle preparation length is 11 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just an arbitrary choice. You actually used the data of our current players. You can run simulations. So like,
absolutely,
11 wasn't just you just throwing a dart at a board and be like, yeah, 11 hours, that's good.
Exactly. So we made a lot of simulations, and we used the data from the test servers and also what we had before, because we harvest all the numbers from the faction war, and really that number will both, we think, be more organic when you play. So the war will change every day, but not too much, but also lessen the problems of the different time zones.
Cool. Okay. We have one question.
Oh yeah, I made a mistake in the PowerPoint.
From
It
Sean,
was
93.
6 hours, not 4 hours for a turn before.
Right. You did this late last night.
I did.
I asked her before leaving the office, hey, can you do a PowerPoint? So thank you for doing that. Yes, 6 hours, not 4. Cool. Well, if you have questions, Bio actually will love to answer them, so send them my way, and we'll get them answered for you if you want to discuss on Reddit, wherever. Let us know. But thank you very much. I'm excited to see this in action. And I hope Setback, I hope you're taking notes for your Faction War update videos. You've raised the bar pretty high, and hopefully with all these changes, you'll be able to keep up. But thank you. So let's bring it back to Roman and Damien, and we'll dive into these very long patch notes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yay! Look at that. The transition's long enough now that you guys get in, and you're back. Oh. Roman's back. Yay! We're friends again. Well, everything's good. So strap in, everybody. We have a lot of notes to go through. These will not be published right away after the show. They should be up next week. So for the next few days, this is kind of your place to get this information. So the full details will be up as soon as we can. When we do these things, because we're Ubisoft and we're a global company, we always have to get them localized in every language so everyone can benefit from our notes. So we can't just slap it up online. So they'll be up in a few days, but right now is where you can get the info.
Oh, we already did the map, so we start on the patch note.
Yeah, Damien.
I wanted you to tell the story of the maps.
Oh.
The narrative text, because you do that so well.
Of the maps?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we got the notes here from our very talented whoever wrote these.
I think it's Harry.
Probably Harry.
Probably her.
Okay. Should I do it with my Order and Havoc voice?
Yes.
Okay. The Gauntlet. Oh, camera's on me. Great. Hey, hi. Last time I didn't know the camera was on me. The Gauntlet. A pair of massive stone skulls as welcome or warning to those who seek to enter the Viking fortress. Perched high on a hill, the fortress is protected by a defensive gauntlet, built by seasoned warriors to stop attackers from reaching their most valued haven. Few have ever made it in the Viking citadel, and none have made it out. It's ominous. It's ominous. And now,
mark it down.
Market Town. Out of tranquil marshland rises a samurai village, a densely populated maze of twisting alleys and unusual architecture. Here the people live in stilt houses above the water, and the landscape has necessitated a push skyward, creating multi-tiered neighborhoods at varying elevations. Necessitated. Navigating the village is a significant challenge for visitors and invaders alike, but a system of zip lines is sure to expedite travel. I like the idea that people just visiting have to use the zip lines too. Welcome to the village. I'm over there. Let's zip down the zip line. That's great. Well, there you go. There's our two maps.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome. Anything for you, Damien.
So, I will start. It's not a real new feature, but it's still something pretty cool. It's something we spoke about on Past Warriors Den, but the team improved the patching system.
Oh yeah.
So
this is a big deal, actually.
It means that it will significantly reduce the size of all future content updates.
Yep.
And that's really cool. We had to repackage some of the parts of the game for that patch, so I think that patch will be pretty big.
So that's the catch.
Yeah, that's
the
catch.
Future patches are going to be a lot smaller.
Except for
this one, which will be bigger.
That integrates the system, exactly. And one of the very cool thing is by the new patching system, the team also worked on some optimization loadings. And it means now that the loading times when you're in the face-off and waiting for the new map is speed up by more than 10%.
Oh, cool.
Which is really cool.
Nice.
And there is something else I forgot to say when we spoke about Tribute, is the fact that people loved to play against level 3 bots.
Oh yeah.
In Tribute mode.
That's right.
And now it's something we're deploying in all game modes starting season 4.
Nice. Great. I think we got some fighter stuff.
Yeah, so first, before getting to that, we've made some updates to the endurance system. So when you're trying to run away from a fight in duel. So we've made some changes to how that gauge is the anti-run gauge is calculated to prevent the behavior of quickly locking, unlocking while running away to reset it. So that should not be a good strategy anymore.
Cool.
The anti-run should now trigger even if you try to do that. Again, if other exploits on this one are found, we will patch it.
Sure.
Okay, so fight system. We have a bunch of modifications coming to the fight system for this patch. It's the first batch of modification. There will be other modification coming either later on this season or maybe next season.
Okay.
So first one, it's out of stamina state. So now when you're out of stamina, light attack aren't interrupted anymore when they are blocked. So you, Eric, are out of stamina.
Always.
I'm attacking you. I'm doing light attack chains. Even if you successfully block them, you're not going to interrupt my chain.
Okay.
So I can continue my chain. I can put more pressure on you when you're out of stamina. And also, since you are not interrupting them, I'm dealing chip damage to you even with my light attack when you're out of stamina. So that should add more pressure on out of stamina, and you should be less willing to be in that state. Also, we made some changes on the dodge roll. So first, the stamina cost of the roll has been increased. It used to be 40, now it's going to be 50 point of stamina. And roll no longer has defense. So previously, you were immune to guard break while rolling. It's not the case. It's not the case anymore. So basically, we're trying to make dodge roll still a good option to evade, but not the best option that will get you out of any situation every time, etc. You will have to plan a little bit for it.
It's no longer a get out of jail free card.
Exactly, and it's costing more.
Cool.
Navigation speed has been tweaked in order to remove the shuffling, so exiting, entering lock, and quickly escape like that. So we've made some tweaks on the exiting lock. When you exit lock, the speed of your character at that moment, etc. So now, if you shuffle in and out of lock, you should not go faster.
Cool.
Then a big one that is really a game changer for me. It's critical HP regen has been removed. So now, when you're in low life, you stay in low life, and when you're half of your last bulb, you stay at half of your last bulb, etc. So no more, oh, I'm low life, trying to run away, regen, and go back into the fight. That's out of the game.
Which is how I play Destiny, by the way, because I'm terrible. I'll shoot you and then I'll run away
It's a
from
shooter
somebody.
mechanic. For some reason, we added into the game, and it's there.
No longer.
It's still there for the campaign, of course.
It's removed. Yes,
But
all
not
those
in PvP.
changes, by the way, all the changes we're speaking about are only for PvP. We have not changed any of that in the campaign. Dodge, actually, we made another modification on dodge. Dodge roll cannot be, dodge and rolling also cannot be used to avoid the effects of trapped and bomb. So, like for example, in Tribute, if you place a trap at a really obvious spot, well, somebody running in it and just rolling will be able to avoid the effect. So you will have to be a little bit smart in the way you place these objects. And also we fixed, this time for real, at least I hope, the map data problems that were causing issues with guard break not connecting on slopes and stairs, etc.
Yep.
This time it's supposed to be in the patch. We'll see if it makes the cut. So it was supposed to be fixed in last patch, did not make the cuts for whatever reason. It's supposed to be in it. And one more thing, it's with a sprint attack. No sprint attack, can acquire targets dynamically if they started without one, meaning that should fix a lot of sprint attack unlock decks.
Right.
So those are the first batch of changes to the fight system. There is another batch, like I was saying, coming either later this season or next season that will be targeted at parry and rebalancing a little bit the parry mechanic, but that's for later. Then on a lot of characters, there has been a lot of small bug fixes, etc. The only guy that got some real change is the Lawbringer. We've increased the range of his heavy attack. So top heavy opener range has been increased to 4.7 meter. Top heavy chain has been increased to 3.75 meters. And top heavy chain finisher has been increased to 4.75 meter.
Cool.
Then also he has some bug fix on the make way move. Raider gets some bug fix. Berserker gets some bug fix. Basically, almost all of the character got some a lot of some bugs.
Yeah, and I think you'll recognize, the community will recognize a number of them because a number of them came from being reported by the community. So,
one thing is that is important. Actually, it's on the Nobushi. We've replaced the Blissful Rest fit with Second Wind because we were trying to balance it, and every time it was either too good or too bad, basically. So we decided to replace it with Second Wind. We think it's a better mechanic and it made more sense. So we're going with this one. And also with the Gladiator, the heavy opener block recoveries. So when you get your heavy attack blocked, the recoveries has been increased from 900 milliseconds to 900 milliseconds. Used to be 800 milliseconds. And so no character beside Gladiator can counter the guard break after a Conqueror block. No, it's the case. And that's mostly it for characters. No fits. So we've made some changes and rework on a lot of fits. So we've removed the uninterruptible flag on most of the fits, except Second Wind, Stalwart Banner, Champion's Aura, and Juggernaut. All the other fits can be interrupted if you get hit during the animation. So no more, I start my bow, you hit me, you still take the arrow, I do my cannibal strike, and you still, etc. No, all the fits can be interrupted except those 4: Second Wind, Stalwart Banner, Champion's Aura, and Juggernaut.
Cool.
Smoke bombs. It's got some changes. No smoke bombs denies interactions, including captured zones. So we want that fit to provide tactical advantage, and this change help make smoke bomb a better choice for certain game mode like Tribute. So if the guy is trying to cap your flag, as an example, you can smoke bomb him. It also makes it.
So you smoke bomb him mid capture.
Yeah, and it will interrupt the capture.
Cool.
And it's making it also a more viable choice for game mode with a capture zone, like for example Dominion. So if you're in the smoke, you are not capturing the zone
That's
anymore.
a big change.
So that should make it a more tactical ingredient. Deadly, so for Warlord, Gladiator, Valkyrie, and Aramusha. No, the passive fits have. So basically, that will be true for all the passive fits that I'm going to list. They have a clearer cooldown feedback. So tell us if you think it's better. And Deadly, the fit now becomes active for 3 seconds when hitting an enemy, and the cooldown has been raised to 5 seconds. Flesh Wound for Warlord and Shaman. So cooldown is better. The fit become also active for 3 seconds after when getting hit, and as the cooldown has been raised to 5 seconds. Thick Skin for Peacekeepers, same thing, improvement of the cooldown feedback. The fit becomes active for 3 seconds when getting hit, and the cooldown has been raised to 5 seconds. The Bloodlust fit for the Valkyrie. So Bloodlust was activating on minion kills. Now it will only activate on player kill. And again, since it's a passive fit, cooldown improvements. Sleep Through for the Orochi and Shinobi, clear cooldown. Righteous Deflection for the Lawbringer, clear cooldown. And same thing for Winner's Advantage for the Islander.
Cool.
Maps?
So maps, we did more of the things that we've done in the last couple of patches.
Edgar,
With
yeah.
Edgard, where we changed the spawning locations.
The locations of some of the
So
duels.
he'll be on the show
Yeah.
next week to show us those.
Yeah. So basically, we've updated Sanctuary Bridge. We moved the dual location from Cliffside Path to Drawbridge Exterior for the shipyard.
This one is really cool. Like this one, when I was playing the game live for the past 3 months, every time I was ended up in that map, I'm like, what the fuck? Why did that is not live? When I'm playing at work, it's
It's
and I was
better.
like, yeah, that's true. We're still iterating, but no, it's in the game.
For Shipyard, we moved it from the narrow bridges to the main gate exterior, and we moved the one beneath the ship where you have all those small corridors to the interior storehouse. And in Brawl, we've updated the Tower Rune map. Now you fight in a close quarter Brawl setup, so it's something we're trying to do more and more, so face to face. And the two teammates next to each other.
Yeah, for Tower Rune, the Brawl area is by the fountain,
yeah,
at the center of the map, and they have put railing around
the fountain edge.
On the I'm not sure if it's around the fountain edge. For sure, it's on the side of the map, and yes, also around the fountain edge. So there is less ledge kills, and the space is wider.
And we did the same on Shipyard. We did again a close quarters Brawl setup in the sawmill.
Cool.
So we'll see that next week.
Shipyard, same thing. Yep. You don't fight anymore under the boats with those really narrow corridors with a lot of spikes all around, etc. No, it's the whole sawmill area, so there is more space for you to fight, and you start by your friend.
Cool.
On the gear.
That's your baby, the
That's
gear.
my baby. All the pre-season 4 heroes are receiving 5 new weapon visuals. So 2 epic. It's the first time we do that. So we're adding new visual in a previous rarity. And 3 new legendary visuals as well.
Great.
So that's really cool. And on the armor variation side, we're doing 1 heroic and 1 epic armor variation that we add on those heroes. The Shaman and Aramusha will start each one with 30 weapon visuals and 12 armor visuals and variations. We're not introducing a new rarity this season. So we stay at legendary rarity, but what the team of BO did is adding new bundles, new stats sets, basically. We have one that we call the Extreme Bundle.
Extreme!
Where you have one very powerful stat, but on the other side, the 2 other stats have big penalties. This is only for heroic, epic, and legendary gear. And we've added as well a simple bundle where you have 1 small stat bonus, and this will apply on all rarities. So more stats variations basically.
Cool.
In this season, and new visuals, of course. We did one balancing thing on the gear stats. We reduced the effect of the stamina cost reduction. It was too powerful at high levels. And now with the extreme bundle, it would have been even more powerful. So it's something we've tweaked. On the customization side, yes. So as we've said already, you can now equip 4 executions. 4 executions instead of 2. You still have 2 by default, so you need to unlock others to be able to equip them. And the inputs are the same, so it's X and Y or triangle and square. So it's same inputs, but
we use Xbox controller.
but you can hold it basically. So you have the tap or the hold like the emotes, and this is applied to the execution inputs. So that's really cool. And of course, you can select which input you want for your execution. And we did something else that I personally really like, and I think it's really changing the customization choices player have, because it will apply on everything we already shipped. Now we are changing engraving to embossing, so we've renamed it. Because now it's
much better.
Much better.
Good job.
Much better.
Crazy. Like, I'm blown away.
And why have we done that?
There's
It's
a
because
bug.
now you can apply embossing on cloth.
Ooh.
So not only on armor or wood or hard material. And this replaces the patterns or the symbol. I can't remember, but you can really make a very cool cloth with that, and this is especially true with the Aramusha.
Yes.
That is very cloth based. So we're very happy about that one for the customization.
Cool.
Then,
Yes.
the big subject.
This is a big subject in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, dual tournaments. So we're introducing ranked Dominion later during the season, and of course
Not at the release of the season.
not at the release of the season, and of course we're also updating the tournament, the dual tournament. So one of the things we do first is now we prioritize the reward. So it was pure random in season 3. In season 4, it's based on the last hero you played the tournament for the last match. So it will, for example, I reach the final, I win the final with, weird example, the Kensei. And I will get the ornament on the Kensei.
Right.
And if I already own that ornament, then it will be random amongst all the heroes of the game.
Cool.
So that's really cool. And that's starting season 4 with all the rewards of season 4, because we're changing the rewards. Apparently, this is something we said enough in the past. Weren't really clear, but that's how the tournaments are seasonal.
Right.
So the rewards and your ranking is seasonal.
Right.
So you have only the whole season time to get the reward and to get the rank. Then it's saved, and then on the next season we restart. You don't restart your ranking from scratch, but you go back in an unranked mode from where you were. You're doing some matches where you can move more, basically, based on your win and loss, and then you get a new rank that you need to fight for during the whole season.
Sort of helps us deal with anyone if they're kind of squatting on their top spot.
Exactly.
From season to season.
And you know, it will also allow us to maybe change some modes between season, which mode is ranked, which mode is not ranked, and things like that. So each season we will change things around ranked modes and ranked activities. So going back on the rewards of tournaments, we're removing the rewards of season 3 and putting back new rewards, so new ornaments and new stuff, exclusive to tournaments, only for season 4. We're listening to players' feedback though. So the fact that because we have the improvement of having the reward on your last hero played is only in season 4, some people couldn't get the rewards they wanted.
It was hard to get the ornament you want because it was random.
So I don't know what we will be able to do, and if we will be able to reintroduce season 3 rewards during season 4. For sure, it's something we can't do at the beginning of season 4. Everything is set in stone. Patch is already sent out, etc. So the team is currently investigating that. I don't have an answer if we can do it or not.
We've definitely seen all your feedback and we're hearing you, so we're looking into what we can do.
And we agree that because we didn't have the improvement, it was harder. But the design, and we want it will stay like that. It's like at season 5.
The season 4 rewards go away.
Season 4 rewards will go away. If we would have introduced back the season 3 rewards, they would go away too, and you would have only season 5 rewards.
They're really meant to be exclusive. Like you said, it's sort of on us. We didn't really communicate that. So that's why a lot of you are saying it's unfair to tell us right now. So yes, we kind of agree with you. So we're going to see what we can do to get you the chance for those season 3 rewards. Yeah, that's kind of on us. I think we could have communicated that better for sure. As you say, note when we get to season 5, season 4 goes away. So
So we'll see what we can do about the season 3 rewards in the coming weeks.
Yes.
Then it's all faction war update galore.
No, I wanted to show them the season 4 rewards.
Ah, yes?
Oh, yes.
You have
See
those?
right here?
Ah, yes.
Let's go to the, I did a PowerPoint. Actually, I didn't.
No,
it was
we need to thank Mariana.
Mariana from Bio's team. She is amazing. I said, hey, can I see what the new rewards look like? And she put together a PowerPoint. I put some art on it. But yes, thank you, Mariana. All right, so it's really kind of a tease because all she could find are very, very, very small thumbnail images of them. But at least you can see what's coming ornament-wise for the legendary tier in the tournaments.
The animal team.
That's what I was about to say.
They're
So it's following
themed.
animal themed.
Yes, I'll just let
Because
people
we love
soak
animals.
that in. The Minotaur is amazing. As
I like the Lawbringer one too.
Other thing to notice here, the Aramusha and the Shaman don't have ornaments, which is how it was last season with the Gladiator and the Highlander didn't, because that's just how it goes with the production schedule.
Yeah.
So, and then the hero tier, there's some new engravings, which I guess we'll be calling embossing now, thanks to Damien. New color swatches, which hopefully people are into. I've definitely seen lots of requests for more solid.
Which are the double colors.
Yeah, more solid color options. So there's 3 there. Versatile tier. And paint patterns and symbols. Giving people time to screenshot if they want to. And then more paint patterns and symbols. And I think that is it. Yep. So that's that. Just wanted to give you a quick glimpse at what you could be unlocking in tournament mode in Season 4. Now you can move on.
I think that symbol, I have it on my emblem, that one, the Viking dragon symbol.
Oh, really?
So it means it's something you can also apply on your hero now. That's cool. Ooh. That's cool. I'm discovering stuff about the game.
So before you go into the rest of it, so for the patch of that season, balancing-wise, we focused on making changes on the fight system. Last patch, if you remember, we made a lot of balancing changes. This one focused on the
overall fight.
On fight, and that will continue. And of course, we'll continue now to go back to characters and work on them. Same thing for time snap, as Eric mentioned last week, for life reasons.
Yes.
That development took a little bit more time, but it's definitely moving forward this season. So is it going to be delivered during the season? I hope so. Can't say
no promises
say for sure at the moment. And character rework, and yes, you can ask every week, and the answer is going to be the same. Yes, it's not like
still working on it.
No,
right.
But it's going to come, and it's going to come soon.
But it all goes along the same lines as the priority, and for the season was the system changes first, and as you said, there's some more coming too. Then, when we get to the reworks.
And time snap is part of the system changes. I really hope it's going to come this season. We'll see.
Right, and I actually got to talk a little bit yesterday to our engineer on that, which was a great talk. We have great people on the team. The question of whether it's coming this season or not depends on how risky we think it is to change it. So do we need to test it out? Do we need a PTS? Do we think it's safe to put it out in the live game? All these things have to be figured out. This is how development
And when we
works.
say this season, we say this next season.
Yeah. Not in the next 2 weeks.
Just want to make sure.
Cool.
PC improvements. We have some of those. I like that one. Screen space reflection improved the quality of water reflections. I always like when we improve
they actually showed
stuff.
that at a team meeting, right? They showed the improvements where it's like, it's going to be hard to explain this, so let's just show you the difference in the
will
video.
be
It's
beautiful.
Like, oh, yeah.
The double buffering VSync option has been changed to be adaptive. What that means is that for lower-end hardware that didn't deliver consistent 30 FPS or dipping from 30 to 20, due to that double buffering implementation, so now it has changed so that it's automatically disabled when the frame rate drops to maintain the good gameplay experience and not be kicked by the game because you are too low frame rate. Other bug fixes, not only related to PC, now duels properly forfeit when the opponent leaves. So before when I said you're too bad against me, you leave the match, you rage quit, I had to play, so I was winning that round, but I had to play against the bot on the next rounds. So now now it's a real forfeit when you leave.
Win the match directly.
C'est ça.
Yes.
When you leave a duel by accepting a group invite, it's triggering a forfeit and a penalty quit. So it was an exploit to get away of matches without getting the penalty and the consequence. The revenge duration stat was not affecting the revenge shield duration. This is now fixed. We did a change on the ballista, Roman, if you want to say that one.
Yes, thank you, Damien. So now, when you're zooming with the ballista, we change the camera framing. So now, when you're in zoom with the ballista, you will go in first-person view.
No more ornaments blocking your shot.
So not only the feeling is better, it feels more precise, etc. But also now, whatever size is the size of your character, his head, the ornaments you put on it, etc. You will get clear visibility on your targets and on the battlefield.
Also, with the ballista, if you tried to revive someone who was next to it, like close to it, we fixed that.
We've improved the rules of overlapping of interaction, and that will be true actually also in CTF with the flags.
Cool, and Tribute.
On Tribute, yes.
Then we did some improvements on dual tournaments, so some bug fixes. So some of them on the flow. For example, when you were waiting in the hero menu during post-game presentation, before the progress bar reaches the end, sometimes it was preventing you from joining the next match, so this is fixed. Now matches are properly invalidated if your opponent is kicked due to low frame rates, which wasn't the case before. Getting kicked from low frame rate or high packet loss is now tied to an anti-cheat and considered as an abandon. Fixed issue where players could remain stuck in the celebration banners during various parts of the flow until their next match restarted. So sometimes you couldn't play the next match because of flow bugs. Sometimes you were blocked in the flow before the next match, etc. So we fixed many of those. There is a bug fix that I really like. The announcer will now be more chatty at the end of a tournament match.
What?
That's huge improvement. Anyway, on the customization side, we had some bug fixes as well. So for example, we've added the missing tier reward ornament for the Highlander and the Gladiator. We've added a missing paint pattern, brush stroke 5 for the Impressionist battle outfit for the Gladiator. And we fixed many issues related to outfits not applying on the materials, tattoos, and symbol the player selected. So some of the things that were brought up by the community, so we fixed those. On the UI, the first one is for you, Roman.
Yes, out of stamina feedback is backed on your opponents. So you had a visual hint on your opponent's widget when he was going out of stamina, etc. That for whatever reason the blinking was gone, etc. So
Now it's back.
now it's back, so it should be easier to read.
Yes.
We did some fixes on the flow as well, UI-wise. So for an example, we fixed an issue that could cause group members to remain stuck or on an inactive world map during matchmaking. So this is fixed. The map overview screen now supports colorblind mode, which is also super cool. And we fixed other stuff.
Speaking of the flow, and this is not a bug fix, this is an additional new improvement we just found out before we came on the air. When you're in matchmaking, you can customize your hero.
I was saving that one.
Oops!
For me, it was the good way to end the patch note. But yes, it's one of the most requested feature, something we have in dual tournaments, but we don't have elsewhere. So now, when you're in matchmaking, you can access the hero menu, you can customize your hero, you can unlock stuff, you can do whatever you want until you reach the character selection screen, and you have basically to select your character and play the game. So yeah, it's finally, I'm asking for that since. Anyway, very happy. We had some bugs with the gamepad layout changes on PC, where sometimes you didn't have access to limbo mode options, for example, or you couldn't have the show killer info button working. Sometimes you couldn't revive. So all of that is fixed. Now we can change those layouts without any consequence. There is one that I like. Before, when you were starting in windowed mode, sometimes it could cause the game to launch in a very tiny window in the top left corner. This is now fixed. And this one is a big one, because you worked intensively on that one. But we had sometimes corrupted data in the
corrupted what?
Data in the forge file of the client. So basically on your folder on your PC that made your matchmaking not work. So you had to reinstall everything, delete everything, etc. This is now fixed. So you don't have to go through that workaround and whole process. Voilà.
Cool. Yes, there's a whole lot of information there. Are you still with us? Are you still awake?
So very chatty warriors then.
Roman, you still awake?
Huh?
Huh?
What? What day? Oh, what time?
That is all of the patch notes. Thank you for sitting through that with us. Like I said, they'll be up on our website at forhonorgame.com/patch notes. Not today, sometime next week. I wish I could tell you the exact day. It should be for the 9th, but stay plugged into our channels and we'll figure out when that goes live. But that's the show. Next week, we're going to have, like I said, our art folks and our design folks go through the new heroes, the new maps, the new gear, show you what they look like, talk about the inspirations behind them, and we'll also have our full hero trailers that show you the Aramusha and the Shaman in their full glory. And then on the 11th, that's when we're doing our big Season 4 stream with the competition, the culmination, the finals of our online competition. That's where we're going to do the gameplay reveal of the new heroes, the Aramusha and the Shaman. So we'll have people from the fight team, the animators, the designers. It should be really cool.
And the QA.
We'll have a focus on the tribute mod as well.
Yes. So that's what's coming up in the next week. Also, don't forget, free weekend next week. Get into it.
Play with newcomers in your group.
Anyone who's ever expressed an interest to you about For Honor, this is the great time for them to try it out because they'll be helping you out, at least, if nothing else. So try that out. And I also want to mention the new ornaments that are coming this week for the Content of the Week. They're out today. 10 of you will now be selected to win those if you hit the raffle in the chat. So hit raffle, we'll choose 10 winners. You're actually going to get steel for them because we can't give the individual ornaments. So even better, you can choose the ones that you want. So hit raffle, and that's it for this week's show. It's a long one, but hopefully you found it informative and entertaining maybe. And we'll be back next week with a ton more to share.
Let's look back at
And a
the
lot more
season 4
videos.
video.
Yeah, good call. This was an edit from Damien, an audible, as they say in football. Let's roll that overview trailer again so you can get another look at all the stuff coming in the season, and then we'll peace out. So see you next week, everybody.
This new season will change things up. Now each faction will have 6 heroes, a new game mode, so the stakes are just bigger and bigger. In Hodor and Havok, we are introducing 2 new heroes, the Aramucha and the Shaman. The uniqueness of the Shaman, the feral aspect, the first time I saw the Shaman in action, it was like, okay, it's so different.
I really like the way she fights, the way she moves on the battlefield, the way you really feel how much an animal she is. For the Aramusha, the inspiration is really the old Japanese movie where we wanted to have that runner type of character.
So those 2 new heroes will be available on November 14th for the Season Pass owners and on November 21st for all the players. Tribute will bring diversity in the 4v4 game mode.
It gives you a complete new view of the maps that you're used to play in skirmish.
It requires a bigger team communication than the other game modes that we have.
One of the huge strengths of that mod is how things can change from one second to the other.
The match can turn like this.
So on past season, we introduced dual tournaments where you could be ranked only by yourself. So we'll be introducing during the season 4 Dominion ranked activity. What is interesting in Dominion is how good you are in the combat, but also how good you are in the team. So Market Town is the latest entry in the Samurai maps.
One thing that makes that map really unique is the usage of zipline that allow you to quickly go from one place to the map to another.
And you can also, in the way, kill somebody that is below you, so it's a really, really cool ingredient. Gauntlet is our new Viking map. It's a Dominion map, and it's the first time we do a Viking map that big.
I like the entrance of that map with the 2 massive skull statues. It's really a cool map to play.
People love executions, so now you will be able to equip 4 executions at once. So this way you can select a small execution if you have somebody near you, or a very long one to gain more health. And it's also a pride feature, of course. One of the things we wanted to do also with Faction War is to help players make the right decision. So we're highlighting you the 3 most interesting territories you should look to put your war assets on. We introduced for the first time a few months ago the double XP weekends with the XP Fest. It's something we want to expand, so we want to make more game mode variations and more events like we did for Halloween, for example.
Coming in now, you have a much better experience that you could have 9 months ago when we launched the game. So now is a very good time to come in and fight. I want to fight you on the battlefield.